What's happening, everyone? Happy New Year. Welcome back to the RMC channel. Sorry I haven't uploaded a video in a while. We've had a new member to the family, so we've just been a bit busy with that, but we are back and we're going to be explaining about what to look out for when buying a second-hand bike, from small details to big details. And this was actually a suggestion from one of the comments in my previous videos. We're going to be going through everything on the bike at what you need to know basis. Right, I'm going to kickstart this video on the first steps of what you should be doing when you're buying a second-hand motorcycle. You want to be looking at Auto Trader, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and Gumtree. Personally, I would steer away from Gumtree. Sometimes you can get a good buy, but ideally, no. Facebook Marketplace, it depends what type of motorcycle you're looking for. If you're looking to spend a big bit of money, I wouldn't really be going on Facebook Marketplace. If you're looking for a cheap motorcycle, then yeah, you can get a decent buy off there, but ideally Auto Trader or eBay. When you found a motorcycle, you want to message the seller and you want to be getting a good vibe off the guy or female, whoever it is. Make sure that they're sending you all the information that you're asking for. If you find that the seller is beating around the bush a little bit, not being direct, this is already a red flag. You already want to be wondering why he's not answering your questions that you've been giving him. The videos should be exactly as you've asked for. The pictures should be detailed, and you want to be getting a good feeling about the motorcycle you're buying. Remember, you're going to be spending a lot of money. You're buying your pride and joy. You don't want to go all the way there and nothing is clear about what you've been sent, the pictures and the video. So yeah, make sure you get everything you're asked for and make sure you're happy with the way the seller's treating you on the first steps. Right, so you're happy with the interaction from the videos, the messages, and you've been contacting the seller throughout the weekdays. Now you want to be doing a HPI check. You don't want to be paying cheap or free. You want to be spending a good £10–20 on a good website to get your HPI check. Once you've done your HPI check, check everything. Check mileage, check insurance, check outstanding finance. If it comes back as Cat N or Cat S and you didn't know about this, then this is a surprise. And you want to be contacting the seller and asking him, why did he not put it in the description? Outstanding finance. This is not so much a problem because so many people sell bikes with outstanding finance. It's just when you do go to buy the motorcycle, the seller needs to clear the finance right in front of you. You pay, he clears. When it comes to Cat N or Cat S, there's nothing wrong with buying a Cat N or Cat S bike. You just need to know the details of what happened, when it happened, and how it happened. So make sure you got these things clear when you're buying your motorcycle. Also, MOT history check. Check the mileage. It's free. Go on the Gov website, check MOT history check. Type in the reg. You should be able to see all previous MOTs, fails, passes, advisories, and make sure the mileage is adding up. So say if the bike had 20k and in the last 4 years he says he's only done 100 to 200 miles each year, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you go to look at the bike, you should be able to see that the bike has only been doing that many miles per year. So you want to make sure that these things are adding up, so when you do go there, you know exactly what to look for. You go there, check the side of the engine. You want to make sure it's stone cold. Now it's stone cold, you can start up the bike. You want to be waiting until that bike is roasting hot. 104 degrees, 106 degrees, fans should kick in. If they do not kick in, you already have your first problem. Also, when bikes get hot, you shouldn't be hearing any other ticks, bangs, this, that. If you're hearing any of them, turn around, walk home. Do not buy the bike. Secondly, oil does get thin when the engine's hot. So if you're more likely to get an oil leak when the bike is hot rather than cold. So you want to make sure that that temperature is peaking at 106, 107. If it goes to 110, don't worry, the fans will kick in, it will come back down. If it starts to get to 114, 15, 16, 18, it will start to flash. Turn the bike off, and like I said, walk away. The fans aren't kicking in, the bike has an issue. He obviously didn't state it in the description. There's already your first top thing to look out for before you even look at the bike, before you even look at bodywork. Start the bike, let it run up to temperature, and just wait. So you've done your cold start, your hot start. Once the bike's reached main temperature, turn it off, turn it on. Make sure she starts as she should when hot, because sometimes bikes can struggle to start when they're hot. Once you've done that, take a walk around the bike, have a look at the panels. Make sure there's no scuffs, dents, filler. You want to make sure that the bike actually hasn't been down the road, or if it ever has been down the road or dropped, make sure the repair's been done properly. It's not unusual for a bike to have a little fall, and I wouldn't get put off with the bike being dropped. Make sure the panels are genuine. Make sure they're not aftermarket. If they are aftermarket, then you can talk to the seller and get him to adjust the price, because the price of an aftermarket panel whole kit is most probably the same price as a genuine nose cone. So this is one thing to look out for. So look at the wheels, make sure there are no scuffs on the wheels, make sure the paint code is exactly the same as the original paint code. You'll know if a bike has been painted. Orange peel, it just don't look the same as genuine. So make sure you have a good look around the bike. Take a torch with you as well, because sometimes paint will hit different once you've got a torch on it. I'm sure everyone knows what normal petrol smells like, as you would if you go to the petrol station and you fill up. Everyone knows the smell of up-to-date fuel. Get the key, open the fuel tank and have a smell inside there. If it smells super strong and stale, you will know that that is old fuel. That can already give you an insight to how long the bike's been sitting. Fuel will start to go off even within 7 months of sitting. It's very common. So that is another thing to look out for. Ask him to take the seat cowl off. Obviously the main seat normally is held on by bolts. You can ask. I don't really see the point in asking. You're not really going to gain much, but seat cowl off, just have a little look, make sure the wires are routed in the right way, make sure it's not being tampered with. But yeah, 2 important things that you can check with the key. Right, one of the first basic things to check would be your chain. Very easy to check. If the bike's on the paddock stand, great, much easier to check. If it's not, then you can lean the bike on the side stand, even get the seller to do it, pivot the bike up, spin the wheel. When you spin the wheel, you want to make sure that you don't have any tight spots. Tight spots meaning the chain will be doing this. It will be going up and down. If that's the case, then the bike would need a new chain and sprocket. You can also look at the teeth. If the teeth on the sprocket are completely sharp, like shark teeth sharp, then that sprocket is worn. They should be nice, rounded teeth. Also, have a look at the chain condition. If it's rusty, if it's discolored, then you know that person has not been looking after the chain. It's something that does drive the motorcycle, so you know, and it is maintenance. You should be lubing it once a week. Check that first and then move on to the next thing. Tires. Very important to check. When checking the tire, you want to make sure the surface of the tire is nice and even all the way around. If it is like more worn on the left, more worn on the sides, you know, 9 times out of 10 he has been riding it with low pressure. If the middle is flat, don't get put off by this. It's mostly because the guy's just been riding it on the motorway and he doesn't really know how to corner. When judging front, it's exactly the same. You'll have a flat spot in the middle from motorway and exact same when it comes to the sides. You do have a marker for 1 mil. As you should know, the legal limit on the motorcycle tire is 1 millimeter. That is all the way around the tire. So whether it's there or there, it's 1 mil all the way around. You also can check the date on the tire. That is on the sidewall of the tire. You can read the date of when the tire has been made. That goes the same for the front. Another thing to look out for, is he running a match pair? If he's not running a match pair, that's already quite a bad sign. You should run same front, the same rear. Cracks would mean old tire, you know, like if it's tiny little cracks, then you know the tire's had its day, it needs to change. You can talk about to the seller of what to do. You need a new tire, another way to adjust the price. Right, when you buy a bike as well, you want to be looking out for service history and a spare key. Some bikes come with 2 keys, 3 keys, normally 2 or 1 master key. Like I said, as long as it comes with another spare key, 9 times out of 10 that is good. Service history, you want to make sure you've got a stamped book filled with a good amount of service history with good intervals between the mileage. Some bikes come with invoices where the customers took it to the garage and it's got an invoice, they pile it up with receipts. If you don't have that, it's not a big deal. As long as you've got the stamped book, and then you can call the previous garage that worked on it and you can get a bit of history on the motorcycle to know what you are getting yourself into. Right, talking about the key of a motorcycle, if you turn up and he's running 1 key for the ignition, and a different key for the petrol cap, and a different key for the seat, you want to ask him why has he got a different key for every part of the motorcycle, whether it be vice versa. 9 times out of 10, that means because the bike has been stolen or attempted theft. And the way to check that is when you lock the steering on a motorcycle, they have an insert here where the pin from the ignition goes in. If that is rounded, most likely it's been stolen. So yeah, very important to check that. 1 key, 2 key, 3 keys, pin on ignition, make sure you check it. When checking lights on a motorcycle, one of the most basic checks you can do, turn the bike on, high beam, low beam, indicators, check the horn, put your hand behind the rear light, make sure the brake light comes on. Same with the rear, very easy to check. Talking about suspension on a motorcycle, if the bike's been sitting for a long time, you might find some oil on the stanchion. So when you get there, you want to check the left one, check the right one, run your finger down the stanchion, make sure there's no oil on it. If there isn't, just jump on the bike, hold the front brake, pump it a few times at the front, jump off, double check it again. If there is oil, you've got yourself a leaking fork seal. Not a big deal, not the end of the world, but like I said, mention it to the seller. And it goes exactly the same for the rear. Exact same thing. Check it, jump off the bike, push the rear down, check the rear shock again. These are things that you want to be looking out for. Talking about discs and brake pads when buying a bike, very easy to check. Just run your finger down the side of the disc, make sure it's nice and smooth, make sure there's no lips, it's not rough in between. If it has got a lip, then normally that just means the discs are worn down and most probably they need to be changed. Brake pads, you can literally see them by looking down at the caliper. If they look low, you'll be able to tell straight away. Most pads do run a minimum line. If that line is towards the end, then you would need to replace the brake pad. When you go to look at the bike, most people ask, can I test ride the bike? Most sellers will say, yeah, you can, but I need to have full payment up front. I personally feel like, yeah, you can test ride a bike, but I've bought bikes before without test riding them. It's not a big deal. When you test ride in a bike, you can hear a load of things like wheel bearings are gone, head bearings are gone, but there is ways you can check this without riding the bike. Wheel bearings. You spin the wheel, you want to be moving it side to side, up and down. If you have any free play, you know your wheel bearings are gone. If they are gone, not a big deal. It's not even that much of an expensive repair, but obviously it's a very important thing to check. Head bearings, you want to hold the front brake, knock it back and forth. If you have play, sometimes head bearings can be adjusted. If not, they will need replacing. Also, raise the front of the bike, put it on the side stand, pull it up and just turn the steering very slowly back and forth. If it stops in the middle and it notches, that means the head bearings are completely gone. You do need to replace them. Like I said, you don't have to test ride a bike to check these things. There are ways to check it when the bike is stationary. Talking about levels and liquids on the bike, brake fluid needs to be a good color. If it's dark, then that means it hasn't been changed in a long time. You want to be questioning when was the last time it was serviced. Brake fluid should be nice, yellow, clear color. Oil, exactly the same. It should be a nice golden color depending on the oil you're using. You should be checking the level. Obviously, if you have let the bike run with the seller, give it 10 minutes, then recheck the oil. You should have a window, and on the window, you should be just above halfway. If it's any lower than that, you want to ask, why is the oil under the minimum amount? If you go to buy the bike and it's a dipstick, it's the exact same thing. Unscrew the dipstick, just dip it back in. You don't need to screw it all the way back in. You just dip it in and there'll be a minimum and maximum level on the oil. Right, talking about the frame on a motorcycle, quite a difficult area to check because you can't actually access the whole frame, but you can get a good idea. Take the torch, walk around the bike, check the inside, make sure you're looking out for any repairs, weld marks, etc. You know, like people have done repairs on frames before. It's not unusual, but obviously you'd like to know about it. When you're checking the numbers on the frame, you want to make sure they're completely genuine, and the same with the engine numbers, and they do match. If you have any worries about them not looking genuine, just compare it to another one online so you can see the difference between one that's been tampered with and a complete genuine one. Right, when looking at the clutch lever, you want to have a nice bit of play, because if the lever is completely tight, then that means the previous seller's been actually riding the bike with the clutch engaging. So you want to have a nice bit of free play so you know that your clutch has got loads of life left in it. And then when you're pulling the cable, you want to make sure it's nice and smooth. Questions that I get asked quite often is, should you buy a track bike or a bike that's been used on the track? I wouldn't personally avoid this. I would actually buy a bike that's been used on the track. It doesn't really put me off. It's all depending on the maintenance side of things. Track bikes normally are serviced every 3 track days. Road bikes are serviced every 4,000 miles, 2.5, depending on the bike. This is when it comes back to trusting the person you're buying off. As long as he's being honest with you, I wouldn't avoid it at all. To buy a bike that is fully stock or buy a bike that's had some customization done to it, you can buy a bike that is fully stock with all the genuine parts on it. Normally that's your best buy, a bike that has not been tampered with. If you're buying a bike that has had custom work done to it, make sure it's got the good extras on it, not cheap stuff, and make sure the job's been done properly. They are the 2 main things to look out for when buying a bike that has been upgraded. Lastly, what you could do is take someone with you. It doesn't hurt taking another person with you. They don't actually have to know loads about the motorcycle. It's more just to get that second opinion, judge a character, you know, like it does go a long way, because the seller will feel like, you know, okay, there's two people coming, he might know a bit about bikes. He doesn't need to know. The main thing is you're bringing two people, you know, it's always better. One, two is always stronger. If you do need to go alone, it's no big deal. You know, that's why I'm making this video, so you can watch this video and have the confidence to go and look at a bike alone. Right, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope this video has given you a better understanding and a lot more confidence for when buying a second-hand motorcycle. If I have missed anything out, just leave a comment below and I'll be happy to help. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned, because I'm going to be posting a lot more videos throughout 2025. Thank you. What's happening, everyone? Go on, go again. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the RMC channel. What did I say after that? What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the RMC channel. What's happening, everyone? Happy New Year. Do that again. That was